Greetings, film fanatics. Filmholmes here, and welcome to another rendition of Too Many Movies. Now, I stated in one of my last videos from about a week or so ago that because it's October and it's the month of Halloween, I was going to go through my collection and, kind of pick my favorite, movies I like to watch around Halloween time. Horror movies, thriller movies, stuff like that. Or even watch a few that I've never seen before. I've even collected a few this month to try to watch, before Halloween. More than likely, I'm not going to be able to get to all of them, but I want to get to a lot of my favorites. But I also said that I was going to talk about my favorite John Carpenter movies, or basically the majority of John Carpenter movies, because I love almost all of them. So, I decided for this video, to set up for all of that, I would talk about my favorite John Carpenter movie, and also one of my all-time favorite movies that I don't just watch, when it's October, I watch it year-round. And I am talking about John Carpenter's The Thing. This is obviously going to be a positive review, but it's my favorite John Carpenter movie. It's a John Carpenter movie, and also it is a horror movie, as well as a sci-fi movie, so minus the sci-fi thing, it kind of fits in with everything this month. So anyway, let's get to me talking about John Carpenter's The Thing. So like I said, this is one of my all-time favorite movies. Probably my favorite horror movie. I mean, it's hard to classify exactly what John Carpenter's The Thing is. It was a remake of The Thing from Another World. And I do have that movie. I finally got it in my collection, but I haven't seen it. I was hoping to get to that this month as well, before the end of October. Unfortunately, all the movies that I want to review or talk about, I'm probably not going to be able to, but in the near future, I'm going to get to that. But John Carpenter's The Thing, I think, is a very underappreciated movie. I mean, over the years, it has gotten tons of appreciation. When it came out, it definitely was not as well praised as it became, mainly because it came around the same time as Steven Spielberg's E.T., a little lovable alien turd that, the whole world fell in love with. So people weren't ready for a rated R, gory alien sci-fi movie. But what is it about? Basically, these scientists are they in Alaska? Antarctic. Okay, sorry. Not Alaska. In the Antarctic, and they're doing some kind of research. It's never really talked about what they're doing there, but it doesn't matter. And basically, at the very beginning of a movie, there's a helicopter from a nearby base of some sort, another research base, Swedish research base, and they're chasing a dog trying to kill it. Well, they have to kill. One of the Swedes gets killed, and then the other Swede also gets killed as well. I don't think Swede is a derogatory term towards Swedish people. I hope not. If it is, sorry, I'll stop using it. But they say it in the movie, so that's why I'm saying it. But it's a little bit confusing, but there's something wrong with the dog. They go to that base to see what happened. It's obvious something horrible happened, and basically it turns out that, and it's not a spoiler, you know it from the beginning, basically. Like I said, there's something wrong with the dog, and it is not really a dog, it's a thing from another world. It's an alien that can basically become anything it wants, including human beings. So the rest of the movie is everyone wondering, who's a thing or who's still themselves. And people die, it's, until the very end when it's kind of like this big, massacre. Who's going to survive? Is the thing going to survive? Is it going to, it's just so damn good. So that's really the plot. It's not like it's a strong plot. It's not even like it's a really strong script. I mean, to me it is. I think it is. It's very well written because it's written, the suspense is pitch perfect. It is thrilling. It's funny at times. It's, of course, very dramatic. All the actors do a great job. My man, one of my favorite actors ever, Kurt Russell, in one of his best roles, I think. And the entire cast, everyone that's there, is just wonderful. Even the minor characters are still memorable. Every character is memorable in this, and that's a credit to the actors and also to John Carpenter as a director. So the story, it's not like it's the strongest ever, but you don't know who's who. It's so methodical. in how it presents its story to the audience, because you really don't know who's what. You kind of notice like some people might be acting different and maybe they're not. And when it's revealed, who was the Thing and who wasn't, because they find out a way in the movie to determine it, you're kind of surprised. And until the very end, you're still not sure what's what. And the ending of the movie has been a source of, not controversy, but a lot of talking about what the ending really meant. And John Carpenter and Kurt Russell said that fans look a little too much into the ending, but really some of the fan theories out there, I took those for myself, and I think those same fan theories for the ending, because they're that good and it makes sense, and it actually makes the ending even better than it was. But the whole movie, you're on the edge of your seat wondering what's going on, but that's not why this movie is so memorable. The movie is memorable because of the effects. The effects in this movie, to this day, I wonder how they did it. Because they're so realistic. There's no computer anything. It's just real. Real models, real fake blood, all that stuff. And the imagination put into it is astounding to me. And it holds up to this day and still looks more realistic than anything that's done on a computer in any modern movie. And to me, that's saying something. Like, this was made in, 1982? Or that's when it came out. So it was made in the early 80s. And I'm going to put this down. That's a problem I have. But I love holding it. It's one of my favorite movies. But, like I said, the effects are what make this so memorable. I mean, the movie is great for what it is, but the effects push it over the top. It's the cherry on top of the film sundae, basically, because I mean, the stuff they do in the dog kennel when the dog starts to freak out and other stuff, the models in there are wonderful. When they're trying to save one of their colleagues, and I don't want to ruin anything. With this show, I don't ever want to give the entire plot away. I don't want to do spoilers. I don't care if this movie is 40 years old now, or 10, 20, 30, almost 40 years old, damn. But it doesn't matter to me, because I want you to go out, if you've never seen it, and watch this, because it is a masterpiece. And especially in October, watch it with the lights out. It may not really scare you, but like I said earlier, you're going to be on the edge of your seat for the entire movie. And you're going to fall in love with the characters, and you're going to fall in love with how it's not a gore fest. It's not like it's the goriest movie ever made, which is good, but when it does get to that part, it is so realistic, it just has you going, wow, like, how did they pull this off? Like, bravo to the effects team, to the people that pulled that stuff off, and John Carpenter, because to this day, it still holds up. And there's a documentary, not on this Blu-ray, they just came out with a brand new Blu-ray, I think, that has all the special features. This one does not, but this one's cheaper. But I have the DVD, the collector's edition. It's got an almost hour-and-a-half documentary, wonderful documentary, one of my favorites on filmmaking, and they go into the special effects. But even then, I still am confused of how they pulled it off. The stuff they did, there's a head that falls on the floor and then gets legs and then crawls away. How did they do that? How did they pull that off in the early 1980s? It is wonderful. And it's not like this budget was $100 million. It was probably not even $10 million. Fuck. I'd be surprised if it was even $5 million. So that pushes the movie over the top for me. But besides that, everything else and the atmosphere of the film, it takes you on a thrill ride from beginning to end. And true story, I've watched this movie probably 40, 50 times. And recently with two of my buddies, we watched it. We wanted to watch a Halloween type movie. And one of them had never seen it. The other one had only seen it once, and that's because I made him watch it, and of course he loved it. And my friend who hadn't watched it, he thanked me, because he was like, that was a fantastic fucking movie. Like, how have I not watched this before? Because he's a horror guru. I'm not. And he was embarrassed that he had never, partaken in this glorious fruit that is The Thing, And he's like, we got to watch that again before the end of the month. I was like, I'm ahead of you. I'm already planning the day for that. We'll do it soon. So, it's my favorite John Carpenter movie. It probably is my favorite horror movie. It's it's probably more of a sci-fi thriller, but it really is a horror movie as well. It's just like a lot of John Carpenter movies, it's not really just one genre. It's, you know, a lot of different genres in some of his movies, which I'll get to more of those in other reviews for this month. But John Carpenter's The Thing, one of the greatest remakes ever. I have not seen The Thing from Another World. I know it's a classic, that's why I want to watch it. But I know that the two are very similar, but also nothing alike. But to me, like, remakes are usually shit, and they keep remaking everything nowadays, and they're going to. Eventually they will remake probably the original Star Wars trilogy, and they'll remake Shawshank Redemption, or they'll remake, I'm trying to look at my posters, like Pulp Fiction. They're going to remake everything eventually, because they think that there are no original ideas. Well, here's the thing. John Carpenter took an idea that was not original, it had been done, but he made it original. It's so good, he makes people forget about the original movie. Or, he brings attention to the original movie as well. People are like, wow, this was so good. The original's gotta be good as well. And as from what I know, it is. So, that's a great filmmaker, and that's a great film. So, John Carpenter's The Thing, for me personally, and it's my show, it is without a doubt a 5 out of 5. Without a doubt. And if you haven't seen it, please watch it this October. Hell, watch it any time of the year. But since it is the month of Halloween, this is a perfect movie to watch. If you've never given it a chance, please do. Like, it is my top 5 favorite movies. Like, maybe even might be top 3. Thinking about it, talking about it makes me want to watch it right now, you know, and then go and watch a documentary about it, and, you know, and then watch it again, you know. Anyway, I don't think I can't, there's not much more for me to say without getting too redundant, but that was John Carpenter's The Thing. I will say, I didn't bring it over here. Sorry, hang on. There it is. Now, they did make, it's a prequel. And this came out a few years ago, and it is just called The Thing. And it's a prequel to John Carpenter's The Thing. And I've only watched it once. I watched it years ago. I want to watch this before the end of the month because it was very panned when it came out. I actually enjoyed it when I saw it. It's not great, but I thought it was a lot better and paid homage to John Carpenter's The Thing, and it was a good prequel. But before the end of the month, I really want to watch this again and see if that opinion still holds up. So, that was John Carpenter's The Thing. I'm going to have more John Carpenter movies to talk about here very soon, and more, you know, Halloween-type movies for this month. So, stay tuned for that. I'm Filmholmes. This was Too Many Movies. As you can see, I got more movies to watch, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.